session. Is that okay with you, Jeremy?
Yeah,
of
course it is. Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Thank you. So, Jeremy, you've got till 11:40 to just demonstrate the core capabilities of Carebeans around the care planning system, and then obviously allow some time for question and answers as well. So the recording has started. So, Jeremy, I will hand over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm Jeremy Hudson, Managing Director at Carebeans. Absolutely delighted to be presenting our system to you. I see there's quite an audience here, and I'd like to just ask a very brief question about the mix of the audience. Have we got domiciliary care people? Have we got care homes, residential, supported living? Have we got a mix in the audience? Domesh, maybe you can help me there.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy, just coming off mute there. We do have a mix. Yeah, okay. We do have a mix of people.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what I'll go through, I'll clearly start sharing my screen in a moment, and fantastic, and see the messages coming in there. At Carebeans, we've built a core care management system which I'll be showing you, and we have versioned it out into its streams for domiciliary care, for supported living, and for care homes, residential nursing care. So the great thing by versioning out into streams, it means it's very functional for each of the areas that you're going to be potentially working within, or you're working within, and potentially using our system. So I will sort of flick between the different streams as I'm showing you the system. I'm going to stay at quite a high level, but also clearly going to leave as much time for questions and answers as I'm expecting to have from the audience here. So yeah, I can see residential learning disabilities, fantastic. So I share my screen, and I'm going to take you through the core components of the system, and we'll go from there. So let's have a look. I'm going to start the screen sharing. Now, hopefully you can see a colourful screen in front of you, and I just move a couple of things around on my screen here so I can see everybody properly. The question's been asked, but just bear with me a sec. Okay. There we go. I can see everyone properly now. So I am looking at my laptop here, and I have a screen to the side of me, so I'll be turning to the side as I'm steering the system. But essentially, from the very start, we're a web-based system, as most of the systems are now. You don't need to download any software onto your local computers to run our system. Now, I'm logged into the care home environment right now, and as you see, it's a web page, and it's a fictitious care home called Carebeans Lodge. I'm logged in as an administrator, so I'm looking at the management view of the system, of the data that's in here. So from the carer's point of view, the carer has an app that they'll be using, our Carebeans app, and that's a different view of the day-to-day work that they're doing. So I'm logged on as a manager. I see all the menus that are on the system, and I can manage all my service users and carers as I need to do so. Just incidentally, I'm using the term service user right here. We've got a renaming element of the system that you can do if your people are residents or people we care for. Whatever your terminology is, you can change that terminology in the system, so wherever you see the term service user, it'll be your labeling. It's quite nice to customize it that way. So menus, the basic navigation of the system is down the left hand side in this area here. So I'm on the service user management page right now. I can see take the carer's view, see the carer dashboard. I've got an operations view, so any alerts that are coming in for missed actions, maybe missed meds or late meds, whatever it could be. We've got an operations dashboard here. Carer management in here. We have full training management, lots of settings to work with, so we can really configure the system to work the way you like it to work. Lots of reports, including accident management here, some analytics, messaging in the system, policy storage, and an audit and management area in the core care system. So this is all available for everybody. Let's have a look at the service user main area that I'm on right now. When I see I'm in this system, we've got 36 residents, and I could just see a row of information on each of the residents that are in place on the system right now. Now I'm going to search for one of my favourite residents, Sally Webb. So I'm just seeing Sally's information at this moment in time. You will see flashing circles around Sally. This is a demonstration system, and we're not completing all our care actions for the day. So there are some things that need to be done right away for Sally on the system. But before I start looking at Sal's care actions, let's have a look at the some of these buttons here. So the navigation around the system is designed to be as straightforward as possible. All this area that I'm circling is all about Sally's care. And the right hand side is about the reports, some of the instant reports you can get out of the system. So if I'm going to just take a quick look into this first button here, this overview. So if we want to just have a look from a top level helicopter view of what we've got in place for Sally, we see it right here. There are some allergies in place and dietary needs, some falls information recorded, that we have some dolls in place and some infections we're managing. We've got some personal details. We've got a number of family members put into the system. We have a set of assessments that have taken place and when they've taken place. We've got a set of care plans that are in place. The red ones, actually, the semaphores here, they're overdue for review. We wouldn't be liking to have a lot of those in our system for real care home management, but it's telling me that they're overdue. That cognition and behaviour is due for review within a week, and that's good. We've got the washing and dressing up to date, and the COVID and medication care plans are all up to date at the moment. We've got a set of risk assessments that we put in against care plans here, and we have consent and mental capacity that we can record in the system as the foundation of any care that you're providing. So it's just a top level view really of what we've got. From this particular view here in the system, navigation wise, we can actually drill into these different areas just by clicking on these links right there. But just for the continuity of me showing you through the system right now, I'm going back to this view of the data. Let's go into Sally's care plan area, which is the next button along. Very colourful. So what we see here within our system, we do observations, as you might expect, and this is the same across supported living, domiciliary and care home. On the care home login, which I am right now, I've got a whole set of care plans that I brought into use for Sally at this moment in time. The specific care plans for eating and drinking, cognition, medication, pressure ulcers, and so on. You can switch these on and off. We have 20 core areas of care where care plans is grey, they're not been enabled yet, so I can bring these into use at any time. You can take care plans off, and for the domiciliary care providers, we tend to use a single care plan, a hybrid of these, which I can show you as we move into the demo in a little bit more detail. We have observations that run across each of our areas. So as you might expect, we can do weight, well-being, respiration, blood sugar, blood temperature, so on, SATs, pulse, fluid monitoring. We can set fluid targets for and get alerts as our targets progress through the day. We have falls, bowel movement, Bristol stool chart in there. We can record the amount of food. We do repositioning, and specifically for more often for care homes. We do behaviour, ABC patterns, seizure charts, urine analysis, infection control, and we even do physical intervention recording. So again, for some of the people on here, you may be having to manage interventions. We can put the intervention detail in here, and we can actually even set up very quickly follow-up actions for an intervention. So every 5 minutes for the next hour, we might need to go back to this room to check the person's okay if there's been an intervention. So this is a standard set of observations available across the system for all areas of use. And when you're actually setting them up, you would switch the observations on or off for the particular resident, client, service user you're looking after. So you're not bombarding the carer with a whole suite of observations when you don't need to use them. I'm going to go have a quick look at Sally's body map. Of course, we have body mapping. We can record body map issues, the different types of issues, pain, pressure, medication, and so on. We can take photography from the system, from the carers app, and put photographs in of the different issues that have been recorded here. So body mapping is quite extensive for you from a review point of view, and adding issues from the carers app. I'm going to look at these assessments. So Sally, as you see when I'm clicking in, I'm just clicking on this long bar across the screen here. We call them accordions, you know, it's just a simple open a branch up and see something inside it and click it again to close it up. So trying to make it easy for you to use the system and access the system the details of the assessments. We've got a number of assessments in place for this particular service user or residents. We've got must, falls, water low pressure, choking, well-being, and so on. All of these assessments can be redone at any time. I can see the history of the assessments that have been done, the carer that's done the assessment, the time and date. We keep all data that's been put in the system. If I need to do another must assessment right now, I'll just type over the details that's on the screen, put the information in, save assessment, and that's saved, and it'll be in the assessment log here that this has been completed now as my latest must assessment, for example. We have this library of assessments. Most of them have been switched on for Sally. The ones that haven't been switched on are an Abbey Payne scale, a Braden scale, and a COVID-19 best interest checklist. So there we go with some care assessments that are ready in the system, ready to run. Just going down to the next level here on the consent and mental capacity. The consent and mental capacity is fundamental to care, and you can manage that within the system. If I'm going to add a new consent, it will simply be pick from the list of the consents that are available. You control this list. You can make this list your consent list. It doesn't have to be our system settings. So you have complete list control over this. But just say I'm going to do seek consent from Sally for a crop list to do their work. The key question is Sally able to provide consent? It's going to be yes, or if unsure, no. If it's yes, absolutely fantastic. You can even get Sal to put a signature on the app, because this is an app view as well. If it's no, we take you through a mental capacity assessment, and you can record your mental capacity assessment in here if you need to do so. We take you through key questions, and you just basically, you can see now the system, the way it's opening up into sort of forms based, easy forms, pretty familiar to most people that have been on any sort of web systems. We can put the information in, follow the script, answer the questions, and what you're actually evidencing here is you're going through this mental capacity assessment, recording the information of the assessment, and when you get to the bottom of this assessment form, including any other input you've had from other professionals or family members in this assessment decision, you're asking the question, does Sally have capacity? Based upon the evidence I put in here, it's yes or no. If it's yes, again, it's a sign off. If it's no, we take you through the ability to record a best interest assessment in here. So this will be relevant to many of you, and it's in there all embedded in the system. I'm going to come away from that. So that's in the capacity here. Again, with risks, we put risks in. We put risks against all the care plans, so we can add any risk at any time for any care plan. Let's have a look at one of these care plans. Let's go pick the continence care plan that's due for review right now. When I open the continence care plan specifically, we have a review summary where we record what we're doing in the latest review. We have a brief summary of the care plan itself. We have the next review date that we can put in, or it'll default on any default period that you want to set as global in the system, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it could be. We have assessments that can be connected there, and we have the care plan itself. This structure of the care plan for continence for Sally as in 3 key blocks. It's the need statement, which is sitting here, the goal statement, which sits here, and how we're managing the care in terms of the support statements that you can put in. Now you see I've just started clicking on this box here. What we're doing is fundamental within our system. We have the 3 core statement areas, and we help with ready-made statements that you can use, and they're line item statements. We're not writing a care plan here, we're just giving you guide statements in each area. For example, I've got an incontinence need statement that you can put in, a catheter need statement, your UTI needs, constipation needs, and even stoma needs if I want to go to that part there. And I say it's not intended to write a care plan. The care plans need to be personalised, we all recognise that, but it's statements that help the busy care manager writing care plans to make sure they're covering the things they need to do. You put those statements in, you change them, you edit them, you can change colours of the content where we've highlighted in red. That's designed for you to maybe take a view of that, delete what you don't need, use what you need, and even just take the colors into where you need it to be, so we can format it, do a little bit of basic formatting there. The great thing with this here is also, whilst we have all these statements that you can drop in any areas that you need to use them, you can create your own reusable content as well. So, and you can create your own template, you can create your own care plan headers. So again, very, very flexible. Whilst we've got the 20 core areas of care covered, you can create your own. Yes, we do read receipting. I'm just trying to watch the questions as they come in. Read receipting of care plans in there. Absolutely. So what I was just trying to emphasize that this is very customizable. You can create your own templates, you can create your own reusable content for reuse and add them into the system through an editor we have that's available and very easy to use. I'm going to come out of that care plan, and what will actually happen once I save and publish it, once I've made the changes, we will see the full history of all the care plans that have been done through the life of the care that we've done. So I'm actually logged in here as Laura Campbell. So Laura, I did a review on the 13th of the 1st. Lucy's done a review of the same care plan on the 25th of the 1st, and we can see each version of the care plan, print it if we need to, but each version of the care plan that's been stored on the system. We don't delete any care plans, we keep the full history, and that's useful for audit purposes. So just coming back out of that care planning area, we can see quickly care plans that need to be reviewed. We can add any care plans that are in the library from down here if we want to add some more, and we can make our own care plan templates for use and reuse in the system. So this is really the key area around care planning, and let's just move back and still look at some of the other areas. So that's care planning here. Of course, we have the about area, pre-admission history. We can set up as we're getting a service ready. If we're using this pre-admission area, we have the 20 areas of care, and this will feed into the summary. Whatever we put in here feeds into the summary on the care plans, which is quite handy. We did put the contacts and family members, the about me information, and moving through into the sort of other areas that you might need to work with. We do put the any DNA-CPRs in, any power of attorney certificates, and we do DOLS management in here as well, and detention under the Mental Health Act management. General document storage is there for you as well. If the service user is going into hospital, we can add an absence. We put a start and end time, or start times we don't know an end time. So hospital visits, often we don't know when they're coming out. If it is a hospital visit, we do a hospital transfer form. We can put some additional information in for the transfer form, and when we save and produce a report, that becomes a printable report that you can pass on to the ambulance crew if it's going by ambulance, or the receiver of the service user. I'd have to put some information in there just to show that, so let me just do that very briefly so you can see that actually in action. So look at saying Sally's going in today at 3 o'clock. It is a hospital visit. I've got some information we can put in here. I'm just going to go very quickly what's going with her, and I'll just produce that report very quickly. It comes down as a PDF. I save that. Here it comes, the key form that we want. Here's your hospital transfer form that you can send on with the client into hospital with all the information that we need. So let me go back into some other areas. Now, within the system, and this is across all our services for supported living, for domiciliary care, and for care homes, we do have internal meds management built into the system. So in our internal meds management system, you will add the medications in as medications list. You will have MAR charts here that you can analyze, and from the management point of view, from administering the the medications. If I just shrunk that down to a tablet size view or a phone size view, this is what the carer would see. On the care home side, it's going to be given, not given, or try later, whatever the medication is. We do a manual visual stock check, and we actually just introduced, which isn't on the system, a stock count. We put some notes in. If it's a control drug, we can put the information here for the witness of that control drug, and we can say given, and complete the record here as given, and that takes it away. So it's a very simple system. It isn't linked to pharmacy. From Carebeans' point of view, if you want pharmacy hookup, we link with external MAR systems as well, so you can go in that route. So this is a simple meds recording internally managed within the system. Let's move on to the carer management. Just looking at the time here, I want to save 10 minutes or so for the questions. Carer management is very straightforward. We add a carer very easily, as we would do with a service user or resident. Once they're in the system, I'll pick on anyone. We have the base details, we have skills matrices, we have reviews that we can put in, documents we can store, we can do the holiday bookings, employment compliance, very important. We can set the employment compliance, key things you're going to need, DBS references, right to work, proof of address. You set those lists up, and we can set it so you wouldn't actually be able to authorise anyone to start work in the care home or in the domiciliary care until they've completed all their checks on the system. Great for governance and evidencing that you're managing your inbound care teams effectively. Let's have a look at some audit and management outputs. So we have audit statistics for just about everything. I'm just going to run something right now so we can see for January everything that we got in the audit outputs. I'll just apply that and I'll run that report. That's generating a report on the system right now, which I've just created here, and I can bring a PDF down on that particular output. Let's have a look what we're looking at here in terms of this is across the care home in this instance, or it would be across the domiciliary care agents. Number of absences, hospital visits, DOLs that have taken place, falls that have been recorded, infections that have been recorded, incidents and the type of incidents that have been recorded, risks, missed medications, vulnerabilities, care plan reads. We're actually not a very good state here. We've got 369 care plans that are overdue for review. We need to tidy this one up, I think, a little bit, do some work, and so on. So we've got quite a bit of report output there that you can do, and in the next level we can start filtering reports against carer or service users, similar sort of data, so we can start drilling in and getting statistics out of the system very easily. Mindful of time, I want to just flick over to the domiciliary care version of the system. Now, this is specifically domiciliary care. Spot the difference. There isn't very much difference. This is the same way we manage the service users, but we add in here visit management. So if I click in here, this is a visit now on the system, and within that visit we can give some visit instructions with checklists and so on. We have a scheduling in here, which is your rostering. So here's my day's work. I'm based in Liverpool. This care has been provided in the centre of Liverpool. I'm actually in Stockport. These are jobs that need allocating. We've got runs in here. These are Jeremy, Brendan, these are the carers. I can just drop, it's all drag and drop to allocate, and then these jobs will be out in the carers app. Finally, I'm going to go back to the care home view so we can just see quickly what's going on from the carer management. So if we just be a little bit creative for a moment, if this was a shrunk down screen and this was the carers app, just given the time we've got right now, I would see Sally as a carer now. Imagine I'm a carer. Here's my care actions that have been set up in the system. So you'll see the flashing things. I need to do a repositioning. I'll do a repositioning. On the app itself, I'll be able to voice dictate my notes in. Absolutely fantastic. Real-time voice dictation for every care action. Makes life very, very easy, or much easier for the carers just to pick up the phone, record the information, and that's job done. We can see now that repositioning has been completed, and I can go on to the next task. I've got a temp overdue here. There's the medications. In the medications, in the same view that we saw before. Let me just step back. to that. So essentially in the system you'll be setting up all these care actions. They can have checklists. There's checklist templates in the system. You can make little templates of any routine care actions for personal care, for example, with the support instructions to guide the carer. So they're very, very easy to set up. If the carer is writing any notes and they want to share the notes, they've got a concern with any of the care actions, they can flag to manager. That comes across to this operations dashboard right here. We can share to handover, and actually we have a family portal in as part of our offering, which can be fully automated. So all the care notes go straight to family portal. In this instance, it's manually input, so we can share the notes to the family portal if we wish to do so here as a carer, and that'll flow through to the portal. I think given the time, I've given you hopefully a quick snapshot. We have full rostering time and attendance available within our systems as well for care home and supported living. The rostering is inbuilt within the domiciliary care as part of it. So very functional. We really have tried to create an end-to-end care management system here. Obviously, very delighted to be part of the DSCR programme, and we've got some great things that we're working on moving forward with our systems to excite you with some great technology as well as the core care. I got 4 minutes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jeremy. That was a really good demonstration.
Thank you.
So if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to put up your hand or put your questions in the chat. I just had one question, Jeremy, because you mentioned about voice recording. So
Yes.
how was that actually, how did that appear in the Carebeans system?
Right, I will actually just do this. I should have had this open. I'm going to plug my phone in. I'm going to share my phone screen while the questions are coming up. Just a bit of tech going on. I'll show you this voice dictate right away. So how it works, I'm logging on to, I think I'm on the Dom Care app here. Hopefully you can still see my screen. I'm logged on to the Dom Care app. So this time I'm visit. I'm seeing the people I'm visiting. Here they all are. And I'm actually going to start the visit to George D'Souza. And okay, I've got some good stuff in there. I've started the visit. I got my checklist for the visit. I'm a carer now doing a visit to George, a lunchtime visit. Here's my instructions. I've got my medications. I'm just going to quickly complete these, and I am now going to do my notes. Okay, so here's my notes section, and on the phone you can see I've got the microphone. The lunchtime visit to George today went very well. He was sitting in the back room watching TV. When I arrived, I took him through to the kitchen, prepared lunch, and managed his personal care. He was talking about the family, loving the fact that his granddaughter was sending him texts all day long, which he was able to read. You get the idea? Just voice dictate. It's absolutely fantastic. This is totally real time. Now we're on Android and iPhone with our app, and Apple on the apps, and we're picking up the Google and Apple voice dictate services, which are very powerful now. Sure, if it doesn't quite recognize what I'm doing, I can get in and type over, but essentially the speed of getting this in, the day-to-day work that's going on, you think of the care home, let's get these notes in right away. The domiciliary care agency that let's not have the carer sitting at the end of the visit for 15 minutes writing up the notes. Let's get this information in right away. So that's our voice dictate.
It actually appears as text in the system. That is brilliant. Thank you, Jeremy. There is one question. Does your system, sorry, this is from Najim, does your system calculate accrual annual leave for dom carers?
Yes, it does. You can set the look back period. We're right on that. There's a massive piece of work we did in the system to make that work. Very functional, calculates the accruals. You can approve holiday and switch not to pay to everything. It's all in there. Sorry, I'm just going to say.
Right, so that's inbuilt. That's the core capability, is it? That's
core capability in the domiciliary care. Yes, we don't do the accruals calculation in the care home at this moment in time, but it's in domiciliary, so that's
okay. Brilliant. Thank you. Next question. So
I can see the app on and offline. Absolutely.
do you integrate with accounting systems? If yes, which ones?
We've not got direct integrations at this moment in time. The data outputs for invoicing and payroll, a spreadsheet, and just so super functional that you can pass them through and upload. It's not an automatic integration at this moment in time, but the outputs that we're working with tend to be received very well by the finance folk. They can take the data and pop it into their Sage or Xero quite easily. We will be doing that as time goes on, as automating those outputs. We plan to have that through the roadmap later this year. So
brilliant. Thank you, Jeremy. Najim, I think you've got your hand up. You're on mute, Najim.
Whilst Najim is unmuting.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Jeremy. Sorry. Thank you. I'm currently using a people planner who has everything. I just want to know, do you have ongoing training? Do your system do the invoicing and the payroll
Yes.
together? I
Yes.
can see from your, I'm drawn to your system based on the area of compliance and the way you can generate overall compliance, where you know the fault, where you can allocate all this problem and get it sorted so that the business is running. That compliance actually moved me, and your what is it called? Risk assessment, well details. I'll give you that. But I just want to know those aspects of what kind of training do we have? The system is quite huge, and considering the level of the carers we deal with, they can grab it all at once. Is there any way they could have access, ongoing access to training or webinar or video to improve them constantly?
Absolutely. This is really important. You know, it's not just about the systems. I'm very pleased you like what you've seen. When we do the onboarding with you, we train your teams. We train internally the people that you need training, and also encourage the sort of train the trainer style process. So some people in your business will become subject matter experts. We can continuously train. You can request training at any time. We're a UK business. We support. We've got a phone number that you can ring. You can email in. We're not sort of hidden behind chatbots. We're here to help and support you move forward. So ongoing training. We have lots of help videos, the whole thing. But if you want some support and training from us, we're always there to do it. When we onboard you, we have a structured training program. So yeah, that's what we do. It's part of looking after you and helping you evolve with the system.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jeremy.
I did see a question about on and offline on the app. Sorry, just I'm mindful of the time.
Yeah.
App is on offline seamlessly. So if it goes offline, once it comes back online, it'll automatically sync with headquarters. Yeah.
So if you get into an area where your Wi-Fi is back on, it automatically syncs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Hopefully that answers Mark's question. Najim, does that answer your question? Because your hand is still up, Najim.
Yes, just the on and off. I just want to verify. Can the carer still log in and out, and will you show the exact time? Because sometimes time is an issue. Yeah.
For domiciliary care, we've got lots of controls around the logging in and logging out. We geofence, we geolocate, we can restrict their login, we can stop the carer logging in if they're
where there is no internet. Where there is no internet.
Yeah, absolutely. When there's no internet, as long as they've left home in the morning and they've synced with the system, if they've got no internet all day long, we still control their login and log out. Because absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. We have just slightly gone over, Jeremy. So thank you very much. Really appreciate the demo. That was brilliant. And if we get any other questions, obviously we can pass those on to you.
Absolutely, be delighted to
questions
answer.
Come in. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
Jeremy.
you all for attending. I hope to hear from all of you. It'd be fantastic if we do. We're here to support. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So as I said, if you've got any other questions, if you think of any questions afterwards, please do just put them in the chat. And obviously say which supplier demo that question refers to, and then we can happily sort of forward those on to the individual suppliers if you've got any other questions.
Jeannie, I think we've got our